Can you say bujilla? That's Spanish for spark plug. Oh man, I got this stuff everywhere. What's going on YouTube? Levi at Old Iron Off-Road out here today. Today we're excited. I just got a call from Jasper and they will be bringing the 6 liter for Yogi on Monday. So we've got this heap of junk core 6 liter on the stand. We're gonna tear this thing down, get it prepped for a core to send back with Jasper. We have also been accumulating some other parts. I don't know if you can see this pile of loveliness behind us. We've got a 4L80E, we've got all new injectors, we've got new coils, all new sensors. We're gonna do our level best to make this engine that we put in as close to brand new as possible using all Delphi or GM equivalent components. We also reached out to a guy named Andrew Brinks. He's on Instagram as MP205 guy. He seems to have a really good grip on MP205s and as well as a huge collection of parts. He has actually put us together an MP205, which should be arriving shortly. We specifically wanted to go with the MP205 once we figured out how much Yogi weighed. The Dana 20, even with a 32 spline output, was still running on the ragged edge of just being not heavy enough. And with the 6 liter, I just wanted to go ahead and make this a true 1-ton vehicle. We didn't really do anything fancy with the MP205. The MP205 already comes stock with a 32 spline rear output and a 30 spline front output, which should be enough for what we're trying to do. We did go ahead and have Andrew put in a set of twin stick shift rails, and we'll be running a set of JB Fab cable shifters for that. Also with the 205, we wanted a very specific 205. To mate to the 4L80, we wanted a long input round pattern MP205, which seems to be on just a couple of years of the 3500s right before they transitioned over to a chain drive transfer case. Andrew had all the parts to make that happen, so we're super grateful. Anyway, enough yammering about that. We are gonna blow this guy apart, get it prepped for core pickup on Monday, and we are gonna begin filming the journey of the Yogi heart transplant starting now. Christmas morning. We're getting an engine today. So we got the engine from Jasper, as you saw, and we've got this guy that just showed up the other day. This is our MP205. A couple of you guys reached out to us on YouTube and actually gave us some suggestions as far as where to find one of these dudes at, and I really do appreciate it. This is a round pattern, long input MP205, and Andrew Brinks, the MP205 guy on Instagram. If you need any MP205 stuff, check him out. We have a plethora of parts. We've got our engine on a stand. I actually just knocked the residual oil off of it from it being through the manufacturing process. It is a long block and we opted not to have it painted. We're going to throw some paint on some stuff today and start assembling this engine, and thought you guys could hang out with us. So let's make something happen. We're going to put some of that good old reliable Chevy orange on this guy. That should really keep those purists happy. So we got this guy painted and looking reasonable. I'm gonna go ahead and install the valley pan cover, the knock sensors, crank sensor, and cam sensor, just to fill some holes on this guy, and we should be in good shape. Oh man, that Chevy orange, boy. So we got a video we're gonna be doing soon. I think you guys will really appreciate it. We bought a, like I say, I'm not even gonna call it modern. Well, I wanna call it a modern sports car, but honestly it's neither. I can't give away too much. Just gonna say that we're gonna have some fun. Make sure you're subscribed and watching, because you're not gonna wanna miss this one, I assure you. It's modern-ish, sports car-ish. That's really all I'm willing to say. Cam sensor. Yeah. Looks like an engine. So we're throwing in some AC Delco plugs. It's a good idea to check the gap before you install these. They are pre-gapped, but I have seen in instances where they're getting beat up and packaged, and when they get beat up from banging around and shipping, that it does mess with the gap. So it's always a good idea to check them. Good God, that's a lot. Oh man. Get off there. I'm excited because I made a nice purchase. We actually grabbed a plasma table. We ended up with a Langmuir. It's not a production unit, it's a hobbyist, but I'm actually gonna cut some LS lift brackets that will actually get me up and over the intake if I decide I want to put an engine in with the intake on. Because typically if you try to use a chain, you could do a lift point off of the valley, definitely. If you wanted to do a chain over the top, the chain ends up getting into the intake and you'll likely break something. So you have to take the intake off. Not that taking the intake off is a problem on an LS engine. It's like 5 seconds to get it off. But I'm actually gonna make some really nice lift points, I think, that come off of the heads, and maybe make like a strap, something for dink, 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 something like that. I think that'll be the first project on the plasma table. I'm not sure when it's going to be here. I'm hoping soon because I'm really excited about it. And also, we have recently made a new addition to the shop, personnel-wise. We have a young man that has started working with us. He has been here, I think this week, past week was his 3rd week. Really promising young man. He's 22 years old. Very, very, very automotive oriented, and beyond automotive oriented, he's also like very capable of figuring stuff out. Like I haven't gapped any of these. I'm sitting here yammering onto the camera and I haven't actually checked any of these. Ooh. Might help if we put some gaskets on these first. Probably really help things seal up if we put gaskets on them. I'm not a smart man, Jenny, but I know what gaskets do. What is happening? So it's kind of starting to look like something. We got the coil brackets all put on. I got my steam port tubes installed, knock sensor wiring harness in. I was gonna put the coils on the brackets, but I ordered the wrong coils. So I think I'm gonna call it a day and I'm gonna go ride side by sides. I'll catch you later. So we had a good ride yesterday. We did about, I don't know, 20 miles at a local spot and ended up dumping on us most of the trip. Still had a good time nonetheless. Anyway, today is Sunday. I'm back out here and I'm actually gonna try to get some more stuff buttoned up on this rig. Try to get some of the power steering, try to get some of the bracketry on the front of the engine. And I'm also gonna try to get the intake cleaned up and injectors put in the rails and all that good stuff. So, as you can see, we're already hard at work. Yeah. Well, we got the intake cleaned up. That was fun. It was every bit as dirty as you could imagine a 100,000 plus engine intake would be with an EGR system. So we definitely pulled the throttle body off, scrubbed the intake runners, just try to get all the old carbon and nasty stuff out of it as we could. We got some new parts to throw at this thing. Like I said, we're trying to make this engine as new as we possibly can. So we have a full set of new, not reman injectors going in this guy, along with a map sensor, TPS, IEC, and yeah, fuel pressure regulator also. So we're gonna jump into throwing this stuff on this guy, and I'd say after we get this buttoned up, that's probably gonna be a wrap for this video. Well, we've thrown some fresh parts at it, and this thing is definitely starting to take shape. I'm excited to keep moving forward with the swap on Yogi. Still going to be some time yet before we actually get to it, but we are, again, collecting parts and trying to put the puzzle together. That being said, I've already mentioned it once. I'm going to mention it again. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up. We've got a really good video about a modern-ish, sports car-ish, of which it is neither one of those. And I know that makes no sense, but you're going to want to make sure you check that out. And also, we have a new guy working in the shop, and I'll be introducing him within the next few videos. So again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do so. Like, share, comment below, and as always, enjoy.